Greetings everybody and a wonderful Sunday morning to you, as it's 12:58 here, which means it's still the morning to me. Anyway, this review has been long in the coming. This is the Italian Tier 7 TD Centuaro105 review. And that was a very good cup of tea. This is a 8-wheeled, stealthy, fast reloading, pretty nice punchy, triple ready rack tank destroyer. It has mostly gun depression over the sides, its frontal armour makes it slightly resistant to autocannons, and there is an ERA package that very much spoils the aesthetic of the vehicle, so I decided to take it off, as of course this is an Italian vehicle, and trust me, aesthetics are everything. As you can see here, it is pretty decent looking, and you may have noticed it from some series. Noticeably, the Just Cause series are actually quite fundamental in using Italian tanks or Italian vehicles as their main armoured units, such as Just Cause 3, where the Centuaro105 was actually the tank of the game. But regardless, let's have a look at the modifications. So this comes from the TD line following the LAV 600. So you will have a ERA package improved, however, as you can see here, this only really covers the sides. And to be honest, in my opinion, it very much spoils the aesthetic of the tank, so I decided to take it off. Not recommended to do. You also have a nice pair of smoke grenades, giving you 8 volleys and 2 magazine capacity over 1. And you also have the 105 caliber cannon, which starting off gives you 530 pen, 408 to 499 damage, but the top AP rounds gives you a whopping 600 pen. This is a completely identical gun to the Macabre 2D. 600 pen is relatively decent for Tier 7, and you also get bullet resistant tyres, which gives you better movement speed. So the first thing you want to go for is probably going to be the smoke grenades, as being able to double shot your grenades is going to help you in just about every single game mode. And then lastly, go for the 105 rounds and the improved loading mechanism, which is basically a free gun breach. After that, the movement speed with the bullet resistant tyres, and then the spore liner, and if you want to ruin the aesthetic of your Centuaro, you can go for the ERA package. You will notice the fact that there was no sound in the garage at the moment, just the overlay music, and that is because the fireworks pissed me off. So, this thing gets AP, heat, and HEP rounds. The HEP rounds are going to be mostly useful against AFEs of the same tier, such as the Assaulter, BMD2M, and other things. The heat rounds are also pretty decent as well, with 500mm of pen, but unlike other previous tank destroyers you may be familiar with lower in the game, heat is no longer going to be your main weapon for Tier 7, so this is strictly as a flanking weapon. We do, however, as you can see here, pretty nice speed, pretty nice spread. The reload time is actually 5.08 seconds, which is very good. In fact, we'll compare this to a swath of other TDs on the same tier, such as the NM142. I'm also going to compare this to the Macabre and the... Actually no, I'm also going to compare this to the Stingray, as to be honest it does mostly function like a TD now. And then let's also go for some Tier 8 TDs with the 105 package as well. And of course we have the SDI here. So as you can see here, it does noticeably fall behind its other counterparts, each doing around 500 damage. The Cent doing 462, which is actually roughly the same as the Macabre, so it has the lowest damage here. Its penetration, however, is roughly on par with the RCR, but falling behind the Striker, better than the ST1 and better than the Centuaro. It also has very high DPM here, 6,510, and however, unlike the Striker and the ST1, it has a triple shot ready rack. The Assaulter doesn't have a ready rack either, and the Stingray 2 has the 4-shot ready rack, and the RCR of course having the highest DPM here. The Centuaro also has a pretty nice decent chunk of hit points, which should allow it to take around 2 hits from a normal missile carrier, and its hull armor is nothing really to sneeze at. But its turret armor, however, at 100mm thick, should be able to protect you from all the cannon rounds at high tiers. Its camo is also pretty decent as well, being just on par with the Striker, slightly worse than the ST1 and leagues ahead of the Stingray. So it's a pretty stealthy-ish tank really, and the gun depression is -6, but it does get better over the sides, and it's also pretty accurate as well, but as you can see there, the tier 8s do get their accuracy buffed by quite a bit. Turret reverse is also pretty nice as well at 54 degrees a second. So there are a couple of commander choices you can take. You can take Joshua Seagrove, of which I have now redone my stat book for him. Minimum spread is improved by 23% after dealing damage from at least 300 meters. You get a camo factor increase of 13%. Camo factor increased by an additional 7% if your vehicle doesn't move for over 5 seconds. An aim speed increase of roughly 13. Some giant killer modules and marksman as well. And then lastly, there will also be some additional ones on screen as well for when I get this man fully upgraded. There is also the choice of using Sabrina, who will be mostly you're there for module damage and also some nice spotting as well. But if you want to go for the traditional TD route, you obviously want to use Joshua. And then finally, you have the option of using Aaron if you want to be super duper sneaky. As you can see here. Crew wise, acceleration off-road increased by 20%, or you could go for accuracy on the move and field repair if you really want to. Gunner wise, it's all about that gun, so max spread and turret reverse increase. And for the loader, I would actually think about going for secured ammunition and preparation, as you may be swapping out that ready rack quite a lot. Standard I guess consumables here, surplus part crates, first aid cabinet, improved fire extinguisher, and retrofits wise there is quite a lot of things to do. Of course the gun breach improves your DPM by quite a bit, as you can see here. You go from 5,900 to, so you get 600 more DPM, which is quite nice. And then lastly, I usually go for electro-absorbing paint and improved telescopic lenses, but you could always drop the gun breach if you wanted to go for augmented optics or thermal camera if you wanted to spot people, but there are better choices for spotting at Tier 7, such as the Weasel. Protection system of the vehicle wise, there is some degree of protection, as you can see here. However, it doesn't really help much versus the tank overall. Generally speaking, this giant front part of the tank is going to be vulnerable to just about anything that's not an autocannon, so whether or not the AP rounds help you is going to be a toss-up really. Against autocannon rounds of the same tier, however, as you can see here, there is quite a nice degree of protection versus them, however not so much when it comes to the side. And to be honest, if you're facing flat on towards people, you are very likely to die to begin with. And when it comes to being hit by missiles, such as those with 800 pen, the ERA is not really going to help. So it's a toss-up whether you really want that camo package or not. So, games-wise, we have one pre-recorded one, which will be up first, and then the last one will be an example of just how much damage this thing can do. I hope you enjoy these games. I'll see you in just a little bit. Gotta close my windows so the spiders don't get in. Spiders. Tier 9 game. I'm not really enthusiastic about this. A lot of TDs running around, lots of things I can do. So I think probably the best course of action for me is to commit suicide and have another game. Or I could simply go up to that hill and see if I can spot anything. They only really have one spotter on their team, which is the BMD2M, and it's very likely that he'll be simply sitting on the hill. In lieu of that, this is a pretty decent spotter. The camo is decent. This isn't outfitted for view range, but since it's a wheeled vehicle, it means I should be able to perhaps do a sneak and peek to some extent, or not. Nope, not happening. Let me see if we can. Oh, this is actually a pretty fun position to be in. Okay. So far, so good. Ow, Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, he was waiting for me. He was most definitely waiting for me. I might hit them from over there though. Come on. Can we? Come on. Ah! Jesus, this is kind of fucking painful. Finally. Well, it seems to be working to some extent. Okay, well the Abrams has successfully killed everything on that side of the match, and I am completely immobile. God, just when I got set up and everything, now it doesn't even work. BMP3M is in sort of a spotting position to be able to get that guy. Gotta go, it's your mum's 80th birthday party. That's alright. Have a fun time.
Identify target. Hostile tank. Hostile target marked.
Fuck up.
Target down.
Beautiful.
Loader, Sabo.
Yeah.
Load Sabo.
Come on. Beautiful.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
Hell is a 90ms doing it? What are you doing up there, dude? You know you don't have any gun depression, right? It's not gonna work. Let's see. Come on, spot him again. Yes, there we go. That's more like it.
Identify. Hostile tank. No effect.
Damn it. Just keep backing off. Fuck is bugging me. Oh, it's a 90ms. Joy. Do you fucking want to try, mate? Do you fucking want to try? Oh shit. Ah. Ow. Ow, pain. Well, we've fucking lost this anyway. Because, you know, half of our team has fucking suicided for the fun of it. Ow, dead. Well, 590 AD. I think that's decent enough. You know, I don't mind. That's good enough. The thing is, the sad music kind of adds to this. The fact that I had such a good game, I'm pretty sure I might have even done the most damage, when the rest of my team just kind of sat there and went I just oh. Come on, Thunderbolt, you can do this. You can do this. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has no idea. You know the last time the enemy spotted were over there, right? So maybe you should have your gun pointed in that direction? Not sure, maybe it'd be a good idea. No, almost. Oh, some piloting skills going on here. Oh, Merc spotted, Merc. Oh. Oh, shoot him. You know he's got it ready. It just leaves you clapping like a retarded seal. Oh, that is. Look at this shit. 5,980 damage done. Look at all of that fucking damage. Like top of the team in a fucking tier 7 TD. Like. I don't know. I really don't. But fucking hell. Like assist damage 3.5. Like I don't know. So welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker. This is one of the probably the best games I've ever had in any vehicle in AW, to be honest. And as you can see here, I've gone full Italian. Arcangelo himself will be proud. He was a very... Oh, not even sure if he liked the Centuaro105 to begin with, but oh well. We're here now. I'm platoon with two good friends of mine, Capian and Tank Sniper. Tank Sniper's in his M1A1 and Capian in his Leopard 2. And Tank Sniper pretty much came over and said to me, look at this matchmaking, if you don't club the fuck out of the enemy team, I'm gonna have to revoke your AW card. So, anyway, I'm choosing this spot on the map because it gives me a wide field of fire. Remember, the Cent has a triple shot ready rack. Unfortunately, the camera bug is not working. It is working, which means I can do quite a good amount of damage to people. This is around 1,500 damage every couple of... Well, God, I mean, you'll see how fast it the time cycles, and as you can see by the timestamp, you can do damage really quickly. Unlike other high damage vehicles in the same team in the game, this thing is perfectly capable of doing all of its DPM. Unlike, say, order cannons and some missile launchers, for example, the relatively very quick ready rack actually does help. I missed that sent over there. Oh, Merc. And you're going to see here is that I do actually manage to reload fast enough to go straight for this guy's tracks. Now remember, the reload on this thing is fast enough that you can actually perma-track people, which is the correct thing to do with this Merc 2C. So while I could actually hit some of the enemies over there if I wanted to, but being able to track and kill this Merc 2C is actually worth it. And not to mention the accuracy skill actually also decreases your reload time as well. So continuing to farm this Merc 2C, I'm pretty damn sure he's still there. I noticed that he hasn't used his repair kit yet, which means he doesn't have one, or he's already used it, and also, there you go. So that's a lot of damage done to the Merc already, but we're not done yet. Hey Megak, how's it going? And unlike, say, the Stingray 2, which has a much longer reload, this thing has significantly better penetration. It's got a little bit less damage, but the ready rack and the gun is overall superior. So that's pretty fun to begin with. So, who's next? Okay, Merkava 1 over there. Unsure about him really. You do have a pretty nice complement of like cap and stuff, but most of the time you're going to use that for stuff like AFEs. For instance, those NM142s, and then the heat will often be used for emergency damage situations. For instance, when you know you're coming from behind, say a MBT or something, and then you're going to want to hit it for around 650. So, a couple of enemies over there. The ready rack is now completely full. Lovely little pasta flags in the distance. And now we've just got to wait. I did indicate to Capian and Tank Sniper that I can actually hit them now. But there is a C-13 over there that needs molesting. And of course, when it comes to using ready racks and stuff, even if there's like 2 seconds left on the ready rack, it's usually better to simply reload and do that double shot. And speaking of reloads, hey, the ready rack's up again. Start hitting that T-72 ice over there. The 600 pen allow me to go straight through his turret, I believe. And now we just wait for the rest of the enemy team to come around. I'm sorry, the free camera bug is here again. I actually very much wanted it to do this scene where you actually hit people is generally a thing, but at this point I'm aiming for that. I was aiming for that Merkava's side, as that's where its Amarak is. The Joshua Seagrove build will give some extra module damage. It won't be as good as Sabrina, but it will still be useful, while the Sabrina build is more of a knockout punch, but Joshua Seagrove overall has better camo. And of course, if I wanted to go stealth mode on this map, I would simply just use Aaron. But I prefer Joshua Seagrove simply for the overall TD buff. However, his main skill, the minimum accuracy increase, does only function well at 300 meters, which means you're unable to use this thing as an assault tank if you want it. But still, you get around, 20% extra bonus to camouflage, I believe, if it goes better. Also shooting an enemy over there, that TADU. He's still there, and if I was in a Stingray, I might not have been able to kill him. It's definitely a thing, and you do actually find out you're running out of ammo quite a lot if you manage to keep this thing going. Overall, if this was a tier 8, I would actually prefer it to the Striker, simply because of the ready rack and everything, and I believe it's better overall. It's kind of flatter to the ground than the Striker is, and the gun depression and everything is better overall. So, let's have a look at those post-game stats. As you can see here, this was a very good game overall. Unfortunately, however, I only got 250,000 credits. Weird. Anyway, quite a couple of blind shots done here, especially to that Merkava 2C. Ended up wiping out the entirety of his health. He gave me a third of the damage done in this game, and at least 2 to 3 shots done to these guys here, and around 1 or 2 shots done to the Merc and these guys as well. Top of the team, of course, no spotting damage done. That was thanks to Capian and Tyke Sniper. But as you can see here, this thing is very capable of doing quite a lot of damage very quickly. 29 shots fired, 25 hit, and could have been a 10,000k game, but you know what, that was fair enough. This thing is capable of being very fun, and I believe my friend Caden from Sorry very much enjoys using this tank as well. Do I recommend this vehicle? Yes, it is quite easy to get. It's only a tier 7 in AW. Coming from the TD line, Dragoon, ERC, LAV, Cent, all those guys as well. With the Centuaro105 basically playing the same, except we have an even bigger ready rack. Actually, it's almost twice as big. It's twice as big. So yeah, it's just about useful in just about any game mode. It can deal damage rapidly in PvE, it can hit people in PvP, and it can occasionally counter AFE with the HEP rounds in flops. So yeah, get one. It's fun. Like I say, guys, hope you enjoyed the review. At the moment, I am trying to get money together to be able to pay loans and everything for May, because May sucks, unfortunately. And it is a thing. And of course, like and subscribe, for there will be a lot of reviews to do after this, and then when the French tanks come out, I will try to review the tier 10, tier 9, tier 8, and so on as quickly as I can. So take care for now, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video of mine, and I'll see you all later.